Let's take a look now at environmental interference. Environmental interference, these are things that occur in the environment that affect your health directly or indirectly in so many ways. Natural disasters, accidents, radiation, chemtrails that we see in the skies, pollution, toxins, abuse. Environmental interference causes stress on the body. It affects your nervous system. It affects the body's ability to function properly. And so removing interference from the environment, from your environment, becomes very important if you want to remove barriers to healing and live up to your potential. So environmental interference can be taken care of in a lot of different ways. Air filters, water filters, obviously clean air, clean water, very, very important as you age. And so when you look in the sky and you look at all around you, all the toxicity, it becomes very, very important to keep your own personal environment as free from interference as possible. And not worry about all of those things that are in the environment, because if you take care of your nervous system and you keep your body functioning the way that it's capable of, your body will have a tremendous capability to adapt to all of those stresses that are in the environment and in the world. So don't be fearful about it and don't worry about all of those things, but strengthen your environment by removing the interference, removing the dis-ease that may be occurring from the environment that you live in and or work in. Now that we've looked at nerve interference, lifestyle interference, and environmental interference, let's look at the degree, the amount of interference that can affect your life or be in your life at any given moment in time. When you look at this first one here, lethal interference, I believe that it speaks for itself. Lethal interference is the amount of interference that is so overwhelming to your body that you cannot survive it, that it causes instant death. Now, we see this in different ways. We see this out in the world when somebody is in, God forbid, somebody is in a severe car accident that causes immediate death. Maybe a plane crash that causes immediate death. Maybe they get swept away by a tsunami, causing immediate death. Maybe it's a drug overdose, a prescription drug overdose that causes immediate death. Maybe it's a overdose from a non-prescription drug or a recreational drug that causes immediate death. A lethal interference is something that we can't do anything about. We have no control over it. Most of the time, it happens when we're unaware of it. It happens by accident. Because some forms of lethal interference are because of lifestyle choices and challenges that we have in our lifestyle, then we see why and how important it is that we keep lifestyle interference, nerve interference, and environmental interference in check so that the lethal interference doesn't affect us to the point where it causes that overdose that causes immediate death. The next type of interference is severe massive interference. Severe massive interference is that sudden heart attack. It's that sudden diagnosis. It's that sudden accident that is not enough to kill you, but it is enough to cause a severe injury or disease right now on the spot. Severe massive interference, many times it comes unexpectedly, and it's not enough to kill you, but it will cause you to stop your life in its tracks, and you will not be able to ignore it, because if you do ignore it, you are headed to an early and maybe even a painful death. Something that we all would love to avoid. See, most of what we see out in the world is the intervention after the disease, after the injury, after the diagnosis, instead of, as we talked about earlier, intervening all along the way through optimization. See, in this case, because there's a problem that has happened, because there's something that we have identified, we have been taught that, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now it's broke, so I got to fix it. That's the motto of the nursing home generation, the generation that didn't know they were going to live this long, this first generation in history that's getting this advance notice. So because of all of that, we have ignored maybe little things along the way. We get this injury right now, we intervene, and instead of just taking care of ourselves to take care of the crisis, this is where my suggestion to you is that you look to make different choices. that you look to optimize your health by making not just the crisis care a priority, but the critical transition from crisis care to lifestyle care. And quite honestly, by the time you're reading this or listening to this or watching this, who knows what the health insurance programs are going to be like out there in the world. They're changing constantly. You cannot rely on them. You have got to make your health your top priority. People are always concerned, I don't know if I can afford to take care of myself. Listen, here's the one thing that you can't afford. You cannot afford to get sick. If you know people that have had some type of severe massive interference, diagnosed with some type of disease or had some type of injury where it's radically affected their life, let me tell you something. That is the most unaffordable thing out there. So making that critical transition from crisis care to lifestyle care, not only will it help you enjoy 80, 90, 100 years and beyond, live your ideal 100-year lifestyle, but it is the most affordable and enjoyable way to live. So severe massive interference requires immediate attention. Give it the attention and make the critical transition from crisis care to lifestyle care. And then lastly, we have cumulative interference. Oh my goodness gracious. Cumulative interference, these are the slow, steady things that we do every single day over time that take years off our life and takes life out of our years. This cumulative interference is sitting incorrectly, eating incorrectly, moving incorrectly, thinking incorrectly, cumulative interference, traumas over and over again, lifting improperly, sitting improperly. They affect the spine, they affect the nervous system, they affect digestion, they affect the function of your body in so many ways. But we think that the changes that happen along the way, we blame indigestion, we blame the headaches, we blame the health problems we don't even think of them as health problems. We just think of them, many of us think of them as normal aging. Come on now, it's time to change your thinking. This is the interference principle. We are removing the barriers to healing, and we want you deserve to live up to your potential. So this deterioration that happens over time, which decays you in so many ways and squanders and wastes so much of your human potential and so much of your joy of what you're capable of feeling. You've got to begin to remove this cumulative interference from your life, because eventually it will lead to disease. This disease caused by cumulative interference will lead to disease and in turn lead to an early death if you don't manage it appropriately by removing the interference, the barriers to healing, living up to your potential, which is what all of you deserve. So remove those subluxations, remove the pressure, the interference in your nervous system, remove the lifestyle interference, and remove the environmental interference, which, by the way, can cause nerve interference, and also the nerve interference can cause and affect the quality of your environment because of the way that it affects your ability to experience your environment. So remove that cumulative interference. And don't just do it because you feel bad. Don't just do it when a crisis arises, even if it's a small one. Do the crisis care and then make the critical transition to lifestyle care and change the concept within your mind from intervention to optimization. Optimizing the function of your spine and nervous system, your body, expressing your full potential throughout your entire lifetime. When you look at the overall picture here, it kind of gets exciting because you look at this map of this interference principle, and how cool would it be for you, your loved ones, your family, your children, your parents, to make the shift from having to manage the entire bottom side of this map, this grid, this flow chart, and instead just lived in that top part across, expressing your full potential from the moment of conception through every breath of life with no interference, making healthy choices, lifestyle care, performance-based care, so that you enjoy optimum health, longevity, and peak performance levels for your entire 100-year lifestyle. And you know what? You deserve it. You really do. You deserve it. Listen, you've come this far in this video. You've come this far in this recording or this book. Let me tell you something. You deserve it. You have the wherewithal to see it through. Make the changes that you know that you need to make. Make the choices that you know that you need to make to live in this new paradigm and live up to your potential, living your ideal 100-year lifestyle.
You are entitled to whatever you earn. Get off the couch and go for a burn. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Grandpa did say. He lived longer than ever, rotting away. Your advance notice is all over the land. Now's the time to make your own plan. Bombarded by info, what will you do? Stay healthy and strong or walk in their shoes. Take care of your body, your mind, and your spine. Make healthy choices that keep you in line. You've got to have nerve to adjust to it all. Your 100 is coming. You make the call. The 100-year lifestyle. Live yours.